Today's Patreon dedication is for Jason Belk. Thank you, Jason. The Pride of Hull Clade versus Gaddock Teeg, Xenagos, and Teysa Karlov. Well, Training Grounds is a good one, and this means that we can get our commander out reasonably quickly with it being uncounterable, not up against any blue players, but yeah, that's a pretty damn good hand. We will keep it. First spell is Wayfarer's Bauble for Gaddock Teeg. Don't think we're going to get a chance to cast the Seagate Restoration, unfortunately. There is another defender for us. So we've got 12 total toughness at the moment. Get down at the Training Grounds, because I think we're going to be curving out into the Pride of Hull Clade, and I don't think we're going to be able to slam that down and then activate the ability for cheaper. Just have to give our opponents a chance to get rid of it. Archivist of Ogma coming in during the main phase here. That does have flash, but didn't decide to hold that up. Wait for someone to search the library. Alright, an island for us. I think I'd rather get down more coloured mana, so get down the island, and we'll play Sylvan Caryatid because it has hexproof. Although there's an argument to be made for going for this because it has more toughness. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to point targeted removal at a wall, so we'll go for the more toughness here. Both of them have a means of tapping down for mana. They are both wall mana dorks. Carrier Thrall is the first creature that has a death trigger for the Orzhov player. And Xenagos has just been passing through the turn for the past few turns. So it's straight over to the Celestia player. And playing Gaddock Teeg as opposed to cracking the Wayfarer's Bauble, curiously. Yeah, so he could have held off on this, seeing as how he hasn't had any benefit from it yet, and cracked the Wayfarer's Bauble instead. That's why flash is so important. And then this turn he would have had an extra land, would have been looking at going for both Gaddock Teeg and the Archivist of Ogma if he wanted to. Alright, there is a Lightning Greaves for us. So what I was looking for here was going for the Mistford River Turtle, but is that what we want to do here? Getting more mana down with the Caryatid sounds good. And that means we'll have 7 mana, or 7 toughness in play, making this cost 7 less mana. So it'll be 4 next turn. And we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which means we can afford to play it and activate it, but we'll have tap creatures then, won't we? Let's just get the Cavern of Souls in. We will name Turtle with that because we do have quite a few turtles in the form of walls. Turtles with Defender. Play the Caryatid, and that will allow us into Greaves as well. Forgetting this actually taps for multiple mana per defender we control, doesn't it? So that'll be 2, 4, 6, 8 mana, which means we can actually go for this next turn, give it haste, activate it and swing. Can't necessarily get through though, all depends on what Xenagos does. Anyway, we see a Talisman and a Zulaport Cutthroat for the Teysa Karlov. I suppose I should have put the Lightning Greaves onto this as well. Too much thinking going on around here. Putting down the Stomping Ground tapped. He hasn't had a 3-drop before now. May well have drawn into one. Guessing he's got a really heavy hand. So that might free us up to swing in over here. Shall I? Voice of Plenty is going to give hexproof to planeswalkers and other creatures. That makes Gaddock Teeg more difficult to get rid of. Xenagos is holding up priority, so maybe has a beast within or something. Alright, a Towering Titan. That'll be excellent once we get our commander into place. So drop the Ancient Tomb. I need to make sure that I have double blue for the activation cost, so we've got it on the Caryatid and on the Tropical Island as well, so we can tap down the basic. Hope that we can get the Lightning Greaves onto our commander. We can always float the mana and get the River Turtle into play, and hope then that we don't see a board wipe. We do manage to land the commander. Or actually, this is a target ability, isn't it? Yes, it's target creature you control, so we're going to have to, risk losing it anyway. I mean, if someone can get rid of it, then they can get rid of it, so be it. So it's only 2 blue mana. Target our own commander. Could always be not quite as greedy and go after the Overgrown Battlement, but go after our commander. That now has power of 3, and it is 15 toughness. And we'll go in down the middle, because that's the only way we can get through at the moment. Alright, awesome, and we do manage to hit. So that's 3 commander damage over there, not dealing damage equal to toughness at the moment. But we do draw a hell of a lot. No unlimited hand size at the moment. And we don't have a massive amount of mana. 3 on the defender. Means that we can basically hold up the Beast Within. We do have Time Twister as well, so that discarding things into the graveyard doesn't feel quite as bad. But yeah, that's pretty good. We will have to pass the turn at that. Alright, had to discard some good stuff there, unfortunately. The Turtle we had in hand, the Seagate Restoration, Towering Titan. This would have given us unlimited hand size actually, but we would have had to take a turn off with that. Otawara, Artful Dodge does have flashbacks, so we can put that on the commander. Again, it would mean removing the Lightning Greaves. We want hexproof really, as opposed to Shroud. Mind Stone from the Orzhov player. Got rid of Mana Drain, that was the last card I decided to pitch. Pongify was the penultimate one. Another Defender in the Hover Barrier, and then 2 colourless lands that give unblockable. Only discarding some of these really good things because we have the Time Twister. Anyway, the Woe Strider coming from the Teysa Karlov. We'll see if Xenagos is able to do anything this turn. Go through the hand quickly. We've got unblockable with the commander here as well. Last March of the Ents, as opposed to... I forgot to cover the Majestic Genesis. Last March of the Ents is better with the 15 toughness. Engulf the Shores to wipe the board. Bedrock Tortoise in order to deal some big commander damage. And then the Beast Within will be able to cast during this turn cycle if we want to. Probably go onto the Shalai, to be honest. Noteworthy that at the moment we actually can't cast Last March of the Ents or Engulf the Shore, which is half the reason that I got rid of the Seagate Restoration. Alright, there is Sigarda, Host of Herons, so that has hexproof anyway, making it more and more difficult to get rid of Gaddock Teeg. Okay, and no swinging in, so let's go for Beast Within onto the Shalai. Remove the hexproof on everything, because that's going to be really tricky to move around. End up with a Beast token over there, of course. Alright, and there's a Reliquary Tower, so we do have a number of colourless lands here. I think Reliquary Tower is going to be well worth keeping hold of, though. Yeah, let's go for that. And then everyone's tapped out, so I think we're safe to go Lightning Greaves over here. Suppose if we're going to get the Bedrock Tortoise down this turn, we should go for that before unequipping the Lightning Greaves. I'd rather get this down before I tap the Overgrown Battlement, because we'll have excess mana for the Prowler's Helm, and we've got blue on the Caryatid anyway, so yep, go for that. Prowler's Helm obviously going to cost more mana, so I'd rather set it up here if we can, so tap that down for 3 mana. Oh, this doesn't have Defender. Oh well, I don't think it matters here anyway. Let me just make sure that I can activate the Pride of Hull Clade before I make a mistake on the mana front again here. We had excess mana anyway there, as it happens. So again, activating it on itself, and then we'll get down the Prowler's Helm, 2 to play and 2 to equip. And ironically, the commander won't be able to be blocked except by walls. So again, we'll protect it with Lightning Greaves just in case I forget to put that on again at the end of the turn. I think we're set up to do some nice stuff here. Can't believe we've got the commander going this quickly, in all honesty. So we'll go through to Gaddock Teeg. There's no walls over here, I don't think. So yeah, we'll definitely go over there. And do successfully manage to hit for 15 points of commander damage thanks to the Bedrock Tortoise. And draw a hell of a lot of cards again. Yeah, this thing's going to become more and more relevant the more that we hit our opponents. We'll be able, with the draw phase and hitting with our commander for 15, it'll be 2 octopus that we get to make with this. So that'll be every turn cycle. Thankfully, we now have an unlimited hand size, so I'll mess around organising the hand during my opponent's turn here. Teysa Karlov now into play with a Sack Outlet in tow. Sacrificing the Carrier Thrall with the Woe Strider, so they get to scry once, ping us all for 2 with the Zulaport Cutthroat, and then the Carrier Thrall will make a couple of Eldrazi, which can be ramped for our opponent. These are tokens, so they do get the Lifelink and Vigilance buff. Sacrificing for a mana, the Eldrazi Scion will ping us again. And there we see a Skull Clamp, so starting to go well for Teysa Karlov as well. Unfortunately, those are the removal colours. And sacrificing for mana again, draining us. And equipping the Skull Clamp to the Goat tokens, so they're at 3 cards at the moment, going to go up by 4. Because Skull Clamp counts as a death trigger here, so again that will double up thanks to the commander. Having a good turn here. Did manage to make a land after that, so has a couple of mana available now. And ending it off with another Aristocrat effect in Elas Ilkor. Does make you wonder if any removal or board wipes are being held back here because of the Gaddock Teeg. It might be worth keeping this player in play for that specific reason. Only has 3 cards in hand at the moment. A Search for Tomorrow will be able to just get out a basic. There is a Demolition Field here as well, which could get rid of our Reliquary Tower. Archivist of Ogma triggers for the Gaddock Teeg, and then just holding up that 4 mana, so could well be going after this. It will help fix our Karlov Manor a little bit at least. Steel Shaper's Gift searches out an equipment, so that could go for the Sinew and Steel. Instead it is the Feast and Famine. I was thinking they could maybe blow up an artifact, but they're going to have pro-green here. Can't block the Sigarda, Host of Herons anyway, not too bothered about discarding a card. So down comes the Feast and Famine, and Feast and Famine for protection from green and black onto Sigarda. Relevant colours in this matchup. Alright, and looks as though everything's turning in at us, as you would expect. So we'll just block the most amount of damage we can here. We take 7 from Sigarda and then 4 from the other 2. Block the 3/3 beast that we kindly gifted our opponent. So it looks as though we are going to have to get rid of Gaddock Teeg after all, which may free up board wipes and stuff from the other players, but I dare say that these guys are looking at us anyway. Down to 17. And this will untap the lands as well with 3 cards in hand. I think we're fine to just discard a fetch. If we get rid of Gaddock Teeg, we're in a good position for Engulf the Shore actually, and we can do it at instant speed in response to Xenagos. Hoping we don't see a silence from Gaddock Teeg, because he is stopping during our upkeep here. Alright, draw into another creature in Aegis Turtle, which is an argument for something like Last March of the Ents, but like I said before, we're playing into a board wipe here anyway. I mean, Engulf the Shore probably isn't going to work with Xenagos, is it? Because they're probably going to get down a massive creature with way more toughness than 2, so... or 3 if we get down an island here. So maybe we just have to hold back blockers. Get down the Sol Ring, trade that out with the Reliquary Tower, makes us go up 1 mana this turn with that land. Now Xenagos holding up priority against us. Could play an island here and then go Engulf the Shore anyway to bounce some of this stuff back. Make our opponent replay it. Yeah, we've become arch enemy quite quickly is the problem here. Now I'll drop an island against my better judgment. And we can make a bunch of mana with the Overgrown Battlement. We don't have to draw a bunch with the Pride Malkin's ability here at least. Alright, I'm tempted to get this thing down just for the sake of redundancy, but I think we have to take out the Gaddock Teeg player here. Let's go Greaves onto the Bedrock Tortoise. Then Pride of Hull Clade can target itself with its own ability again using 2 islands. And we'll see about taking out the Gaddock Teeg player so that we can free up a card like Last March of the Ents. We could absolutely unlock the game for these 2 players here and they could gang up on us and take us out, but I think we've shown off pretty well what you can do with this commander by now, so I'm fine with losing this one, as long as we can show off the commander itself. So minus a fog effect, this should be 30 commander damage onto the Gaddock Teeg. Looks as though that is the case. So down he goes to 2 life and 30 commander damage. We're going to draw a bunch of cards again. Very unusual for Simic. Alright, and that's a good one to get into, is Psychosis Crawler. So if we can start hitting our opponents and drawing a bunch of cards with that in play, that'd be great. Meek Stone isn't terrible either. Yeah, Suspicious Bookcase. There's plenty of creatures for us to cheat down now. So now let's go for the Last March of the Ents with 41 cards in the library. Do take 2 to the Ancient Tomb, knocking us down to 15, which is risky against the Xenagos player. So Last March of the Ents can't be countered. We draw cards equal to the greatest toughness, which is 15 on our commander. Down to 26 cards in the library, so yeah, we're looking pretty good here, I think. Assuming that we don't die to Aristocrat combo or something. Wall of Stolen Identity can come down as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. So we could gain life if we make a copy of Elasel Core. Probably going to be a good idea. All the creatures will enter at once. We'll just have everything enter here. And if someone manages to wipe the board, then so be it. It's been a fun game. Although we do now have Fierce Guardianship. So I'm just getting every creature into play, including the Psychosis Crawler. And I have spotted some Mana Dorks in all this as well. So copy the Elasel Core. Wall of Blossoms draws us. Shield Wall Sentinel tutors us, I think. Alright, and we've got Heroic Intervention along with Fierce Guardianship and the Arcane Denial now, so Yeah, I think we should be alright. Perfect hand, pretty much. I don't imagine the deck will often run this well. This is the first time I've ever played it and have some good luck on my side here. And can always fail to find with the Shield Wall Sentinel. So let's have a look. Might be best to keep as many cards in the library at this point, because I don't know if we're going to be losing this Reliquary Tower. Alright, we've only got a few to choose from anyway. There's Crashing Drawbridge, Shield Sphere, Wall of Roots, and Wall of Tanglecord. We'll just fail to find there, I think is fine. And then we draw anyway to the Wall of Blossoms. And that will ping our opponents for the first time with Psychosis Crawler. Got us into a land. Don't think there's any means of drawing more cards here. Actually, we do have the Time Twister, don't we, which would be tempting. That would give us more cards in our library. We can give haste to this thing. That can add X mana in any number of colours equal to the creatures with Defender we control. So we can add 15 mana here. Let's just make equal parts green and blue. Not sure what exactly we're doing here yet. I do appreciate my opponents playing this out. I had no idea I'd be able to do this with the commander. Alright, so let's go for Sky Shroud Claim. We can grab ourselves some extra mana there, just in case we need to go for that Engulf the Shores. Just a couple of forests coming into play untapped, because we have the 2 dual lands in our hand, unfortunately. We can go for Reality Shift. That can go... yeah, that can go on the Woe Strider. Having that exiled is probably going to be a good idea, seeing as how they can escape it. Although holding on to it for whatever Xenagos is going to slam in towards us might be a good idea as well. Creature entered under our opponent's control in the form of a manifest creature, so that gains them a life. Let's play the Canopy Cover onto our commander, making it more unblockable and, more importantly, can't be targeted. And then it can be the Ominous Seas as well, just taking total advantage of all the mana that we can make use of here. Play the Assault Formation. We'll go for Meek Stone, which should be handy against the Xenagos player, hopefully. Makes it so that creatures with power 3 or greater don't untap during the untap step. Particularly good with wall decks. And we'll get in with the 2 remaining mana, these Swiftfoot Boots. Now there's only a select few cards in hand that I care about keeping, so if we do lose Reliquary Tower at the end here, then so be it. I'll put the Lightning Greaves onto the Bedrock Tortoise, just because it's a good means of protection. It's done well for us all game. And it can deal damage equal to toughness as well, like I've said before. Right, thank you opponents. We will finally pass the turn over to you. Alright, yeah, and he does go for Demolition Field onto the Reliquary Tower. We'll see if we have any islands left. I don't think we'll have any basic islands left in the deck. I think we've got 1 forest left, or 1 island, 1 forest, so we'll take the island. Could have gone for the Lightning Greaves onto one of the dorks over here to give us an additional mana. I'm just hoping that we're not going to need it. So we can just discard a hell of a lot of mana here. Yeah, so we've got 24 cards in our hand, but using all those cards just then and ramping out like crazy with this so that we could actually play everything made the whole discard scenario much easier there when we lost the Reliquary Tower. So just keeping these decent cards in hand. Skull Clamp goes onto Zulaport Cutthroat, which looks like a desperation play to me. Means our opponent doesn't likely have a board wipe. So Zulaport triggers a couple of times, not as worried about it now thanks to the Elasil Core play. Skull Clamp will draw 4, and they actually don't have anything left to Skull Clamp thanks to losing the sack outlet. Yeah, probably should have gone Lightning Greaves onto something like this so that that would have given us 3, 4, 5 and 6 mana. We could have still held up Engulf the Shore and still gone for something like Arcane Denial or Heroic Intervention. We do luckily have the Fierce Guardianship to help protect ourselves, but yeah, I think we'll be alright, but that would have been the better play to make, I think. Skull Clamp goes onto the Manifest Creature, and I will take the damage from this. Not going to give my opponent 4 more cards, unless he can sacrifice it somehow. Tapping out his white mana. Alright, does have it in a Victimize, that's really good. So we'll see what this Manifest Creature was. Bringing back his 2 creatures here, but we're forcing him to use resources and mana to do it, which effectively buys us a turn. Oh, and it was a good one, an Anguished Unmaking, so that's what our opponent was going to draw into next turn. Still doesn't have the sack outlet though, thanks to the exile. Elasil Core gaining some life thanks to the creatures entering, and then we get pinged for a couple because a creature was sacrificed as well. Draws 2 cards twice, but only has 1 mana available. So just looking at the big toughness creatures here, we've got the Charix, which is going to be 17 damage. Our commander's obviously 15, probably won't be activating that for card draw again. Clamp goes on to the Carrier Thrall for more card draw. Yeah, 17, 15, got a 7-7 over here, which would have been even bigger with the Reliquary Tower still in play. If we had something like Yavimaya to make all the lands forest, then this would be huge as well. But yeah, we should be able to activate the Assault formation and make it so that everything can attack and deal damage equal to its toughness. So the Carrier Thrall making some Eldrazi again and continuing to gain life. Alright, hasn't made a land yet, so throws down the command tower, 16 cards left in hand, 3 mana available here. And then losing an Eldrazi to get more double triggers. We're down to 16 again already, it's a good job we gained that life. Shows how potent Teysa Karlov is with an Aristocrat effect, or 2 Aristocrat effects. Gets rid of another Eldrazi. Maybe should have gone for Engulf the Shore before now, but I don't think my opponent's going to be able to keep going here. Clamp goes on to the Zulaport Cutthroat, trying to get us down as low as possible in the hope that Xenagos can deal with us, which I'd be happy to see, to be honest, because it would be a hell of a comeback story. Always makes for interesting videos when that happens, I think. So down we go to 8. Would have been done for without our own Elasil Core, although we could have countered the, what is it called? The Victimize, I suppose. Shut all this down. And now a Priest of Forgotten Gods as well, which is a means of sacrificing stuff. They just have to sack 2 creatures with it, which I'm sure they don't want to with the current board state. Gain another life. They're up to 62 over there. And I wonder if we can buff this thing up enough to deal commander damage in 1 hit. Yeah, we'll have to try and work that out. This is 3. Yeah, 3 to buff the toughness might be a bit rich. So maybe we are going to have to... if we put 21 toughness on this and hit our opponent with it, that'll be 21 points of commander damage. We'll draw 21 cards and take out the Xenagos play with this, assuming that we can't swing 1 big toughness creature in over here or 2. And that will put us on 0 cards left in the library. Okay, there's a Tarka. Flying and Trample. It actually has 4 toughness, which could be relevant. How is this worded exactly? Toughness less than or equal to the number of islands you control. Alright. We actually control 4 islands at the moment. And that player decides to scoop. Don't think we have any flyers at the moment. But seeing as how our opponent scooped, why don't we just go for the counter on this? And yeah, our opponent playing to his outs, which is admirable. If we didn't have any reachers or flyers there, we actually put away a reacher. We can pay green to give reach to an artifact defender in the library. We put it back before. Yeah, if our opponent had been able to hit us with that, he could have taken us out, but obviously we've drawn way too many cards and effectively crafted an exact hand that we would have needed. Appreciate my opponents for playing that out. I did ask for a casual fun game there and just ended up winning on turn 6, so yeah, that's my bad, I do apologise. This is the first time I've ever played the deck, and I do think it was a bit of a god hand, that, so yeah, along with little to no interaction and plenty of protection and unblockable in the end, yeah, I think that went about as smoothly as you could ever hope that this deck would go, and I'd be very surprised if it ever ran that well again. But yeah, big thank you to my opponents again. Huge thank you to the patrons for supporting monetarily as well. You can do that via the link in the description below yourself if you would like, and I will hopefully see you all in the next one. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.